balanced. I think Miami is way more balanced. Obviously, their offense is going to be worse because they don't have Cam Ward anymore. That's the biggest thing. But defensively, they're obviously better. And I mean, you can look at the teams that made the college football playoff. You can look at them and say, what did they really? What were their best qualities? I would say you look at a Penn State who won a game. Their best quality was their defense. I'd say because their offense struggled at times. Notre Dame defense. Ohio State, yeah, they had the best receiver in the nation, but they won an entire game against Texas because their defense stepped up when it mattered most. So that's a team. These are the ways that you win games. I know I don't want to bring a little cliche, defense wins championships, but having a non-existent defense is not going to win you anything. So having at least some semblance of a defense is at least going to make you more competitive in games where you're going up against really strong defenses like Week 1, where Notre Dame, what I think, has a much better defense than they're one of the best defenses in the country. So you have a better defense than Notre Dame. You have good defenses all around our schedule. So Miami's defense needs to compete with them because what if the offense struggles? Because they're not going to be better than they were last season. So can the offense, at least if the defense does their job, I would expect the Carson Beck led offense to do their job. That's a team that can translate to 10 plus wins in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to just be able to, even if the offense isn't going to be as good as it was last year, and it's going to be different because you don't have the same people. There's a lot of changes, and like just being able to rely on the defense, and like at the end of the day, the teams that were who were last standing at the college football playoffs, like you just said, were run through defense, run through strong running games, and they had big P. They could, in the case of Ohio State, yes, obviously they had Jeremiah Smith, and Jeremiah Smith is a phenomenal player. But between the both backs that they had and that standout defense, like that was the rock of why they were able to go so far. Like that was the core of why they were able to make plays. I mean, Jeremiah Love, we just talked about Notre Dame. Notre Dame made the championship because he was on the offensive end. Well, he was such a strong player as well. Like and being able to control through the running game, play hard-nosed defense, get stops, keep the game low scoring enough, especially when you're going against very talented offenses. Like you're going to have to see it eventually at one point. If you want to play is Clemson on the schedule? I don't think Clemson's on the schedule.
No, not
but
this
if you end up
season.
playing
Next year,
Clemson on the schedule, a guy highly touted like Cade Klubnik is, and you're going to have to play, you're going to have to play offenses who are and with that your offense might not be able to hold up to necessarily. And whether it's just a bad day or whether you don't necessarily have the talent on that end, you're not necessarily going to be overmatching the other team on offense, but through sheer strength. So having this defense be able to step up through the rotations of the defensive line, through a consistent secondary that's making tackles, getting stops, and forcing the other team off the field is just so important. And I think between these defensive recruits and all the additions on the safety in the defensive back room is just, I think it can help Miami stand up so much better. And it can be, if there are any early season struggles, just be the rock that this team needs.
Yeah. And Dookie Dollars here, he makes a really good point that the year Gerald Willis played DT back in the the late 2010s, the year where Miami they look competent under Manny Diaz defensively. I think if we do have something similar to that, you could have a defense that, I don't know, in my eyes, could look like something that can translate to a season better than last season, and anything better than what we had last season is an improvement because we were, in my eyes, a playoff team that missed out because of terrible defense. So that your defense has gotten better, and if the defense can be matched by what they had in some of their really good season, 2017, obviously we can go back to 2001 when they were so incredible. But that team's they're not going to ever do that again, or what they had in the 80s. They're going to have to harp on that defense and harp on some of these guys. And one thing that helps is the fact that they made all those moves and that they brought in all these recruits and that they have these guys. So if everything works the way out that they plan for Miami under Corey Heatherman, then yeah, I would anticipate that Miami does play to the level that we're expecting them to play, a 10 plus win season, a college football appearance, best team in the ACC kind of level.